Welcome Wildcats in the class of 2025. My name is Megan Kessler and I'm the Director of Student Services. Going to talk to you today about the classes that we offer to our 9th grade students. This is the first step in getting pre-registered to attend Salem Community High School in the fall. And the beauty of this being video or digital this year is you will be able to pause, rewind. I would strongly encourage you to watch this with your student and take notes. And if you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out and contact us. So without further ado, you should have received a mailing, and in that mailing, the first sheet was a letter explaining the process for pre-registering your student. And then the second page is this yellow document that should have your student's name on the top as well as their birth date on the right-hand corner. And then you will see highlighter marks. And these are the classes that your students have been pre-marked for in English, math, and science. They also will have a semester in which they will take health, and then based on their birthday, they may qualify to take driver education class, and I'll explain that a little bit more later. But if you have any concerns about the courses that your student was pre-marked for, please reach out and contact us either via mail, via email, or telephone by March 1st to be considered for a different placement. When you do log into Skyward to input these classes, you will not be able to make any edits or changes. If that is something that you request, you do need to contact a counselor, and we can do that on our end. But you will see those courses already entered into Skyward for you, and you won't be able to make any changes without speaking to a counselor. I would encourage you also to go to salemhigh.com and use our course description book to have a better understanding of what that class has to offer. You will click on the Student Services tab, and then there's a button right here called Course Description. That will bring up a PDF document that lists all of the classes offered in grades 9 through 12 at the high school. So feel free just to search for those classes that are offered to 9th graders. And again, you'll get a brief description of what that class involves. The last page in the mailing was a schedule grid. It's on green paper, and I would like you to get that out at this time or have that with you during this presentation because this will be a visual layout. There are 8 periods in our school day, but one of those periods, 4th hour, is homeroom. That is not a class that you will enter into Skyward. That's something that we will place in the student's schedule. So you will be selecting or filling this grid out with the classes that we've pre-marked for you and then the classes that you would like to take. And then at the bottom, those are the alternates. So those are the backup classes. If there's, for some reason, a scheduling conflict and we cannot get your student enrolled in one of the courses that they've selected in the grid, then we will put those we will place that alternate course in their schedule as a backup. Again, don't consume yourself with the periods in the day. That is something that when we build the schedule that will work out in the computer. So what you want to do is first take the pre-marked English, math, and science classes. So if your student is, let's say an example would be English 11. In period 1, first semester, you would write English 11A. In second semester, English 11B. In the second row, you would put their math class in, and in the third, their science class in. In the 5th row, if you will write health, all students are required to take health, but leave that second semester box in line 5 blank. And then in line 6, if your student is in driver education course, either first semester or second semester, that's where you'll put their driver education class. But if they don't qualify this year for it, then you would leave that blank. So some of you may just have the first 3 lines covered and then part of the 5th. But those open boxes are what could be filled in with elective classes, and that's what we're going to go through for the remainder of the presentation. So, like we said, the required courses have already been selected for you based on placement criteria and entered into Skyward. They are, in English, we have 3 different levels of English class. Again, refer to that course description book to get a better accurate picture of what the differences are. In the math department, there are 3 different levels that students come into with algebra. And again, that's been pre-marked for you, but there is also an elective math class called AP Computer Science Principles that is a programming and coding class. So again, feel free to look that class up as an elective, but all students will take a year of algebra. In the science department, we do offer 4 levels of science. And again, I just can't encourage you enough to really kind of look in and digest the differences. And if you do have concerns about where they were placed, then reach out to us. So driver education, based on your student's birthday, if they were born on or before October 31st, 2006, they were placed in what we call DRCL1, which is the driver ed classroom portion. And they will drive behind the wheel second semester. If they were born on or after November 1st, 2006, but before April 17th, 2007, they were placed in Driver Ed Classroom 2, which means second semester, and they will drive behind the wheel during the summer. In the PE and health department, health was already marked. We put that there in line 5 first semester, and then line 5 second semester, we need your student. It is required that they take a semester of PE in 9th grade. They need to select whether they're going to take PE weight training or co-ed PE. We do strongly encourage, if your child is a student athlete, that they take weight training. And then co-ed PE would be a more traditional physical education class that consists of individual and team sport games. So please do make that selection and note the codes on the left that that's what you will enter into Skyward later. The social studies department offers 2 different classes. It is required for graduation, but students can complete one of these classes in either 9th or 10th grade. It really depends on if your student has room in their schedule, but they may not once we get through all of the electives, especially if they're involved with the FFA and they have a foreign language, or they are wanting to take one of our industry classes. So some of those electives may take priority over this, and it's certainly not an issue if they want to wait until their sophomore year to take either world history or world geography. Traditionally, students who are college bound, we would recommend they take world history class. So those are all the required courses that your student needs to get in for graduation, but now we'll discuss the elective courses that are offered. So these are classes that your students can choose to take based on their interest level. If your student has been involved with the FFA or 4-H club, or they just have an interest in being involved with agriculture and the FFA, they are required to be enrolled in an ag class, so they certainly would want to select Intro to Ag. It is a year-long class, so they will need both the A and B levels of this course. Business Tech Department offers 4 classes for your students, and that first one is really an important if your student is interested in business and technology. That's that basic keyboarding and typing class as well. That's Computer Apps 1, and you can read the course description book for a better understanding of the other courses. Career Tech, if your student is a hands-on learner and they have an interest in construction, welding, drafting, electricity, or autos, I would have them take this class. Their freshman year is going to give them exposure to all of those different careers, and we offer higher advanced levels of those courses in their subsequent school year. The Family and Consumer Science Department has 4 classes. Basic Foods and Nutrition, that's going to introduce your student to food sanitation, safety, and basic food prep. And then those are all semester-long courses. So again, don't worry about first semester, second semester, but obviously if in order to take Foods 2, your student must take Foods 1 as well. In the Fine Arts Department, there are several offerings. If your student is involved with the band, they will sign up for that third and fourth listing there, the concert band. It's a year-long class during the school day if they're involved in the band, so A and B. And if your child is interested in being involved in our school choir, the concert choir is also a year-long class, A and B. The rest of the courses are all semester courses in the Fine Arts Department. We offer a foreign language class, Spanish. We do offer 4 years of Spanish if your student is interested in learning a foreign language. Probably the number one question that we get as counselors is, are they required to take a foreign language to graduate? No, it is not a graduation requirement, but it is certainly something if you have a college-bound student that we would encourage them to take a minimum of 1 year. And I've said in the past, 1 year is a good bet. Taking 2 years of Spanish is a safe bet. So again, if it fits in your schedule this year and your student wants to get that, learn a foreign language, you can fit that in. If not, that is something that they could. Spanish 1 is something that they could take their sophomore year. So study hall. This has a lot to do with the driver education class as well. So if your student was in driver ed classroom 1 and behind the wheel 2, study hall is not an option for them their 9th grade year. They actually will take the classroom for 1 quarter and then be in study hall for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That's when they will actually drive behind the wheel, is out of that study hall class. So if you had a line with DRCL1 and DRBTW2, do not circle either one of these classes or do not place them in that. If your student was in driver ed classroom 2, they can select either FAST Class 1 or Study Hall 1. The difference in the two classes is Study Hall is a larger setting in our classroom or in our cafeteria, and really those are for those self-managed, self-paced learners. If you have a student who's academically been at risk, could benefit from some help with organization and follow through on getting their homework done, I would encourage you to enroll them in FAST class. So it is a smaller classroom setting, similar to study hall, but there is a teacher and a teacher's aide in there that does help those students that sometimes may lack motivation to do homework on their own. So don't forget to watch the YouTube video on how to enter your course requests and alternates into Skyward. That is actually how you complete the pre-registration process. Will be online. This video was just to help you with a little bit of understanding on how to select those classes. So we will also be hosting a freshman orientation. Tentatively, we have that set for Tuesday, August 10th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We will mail out final details later this summer. This is where your student will receive their iPad and learn how to set that up. We'll go through a mock day, we'll tour the building, and go over lunchroom procedures, and there's just a host of events, and it's been very successful for our students to attend that. This will be 9th graders only and new students prior to that first day of school. So we are a one-to-one school district here at the high school. All students will be issued an iPad, and your student will receive theirs at orientation. The cost of the iPad is $80, or they have an opportunity to participate in community partnership hours, service hours. If you go to salemhigh.com, there is a tab at the top for iPads. We have an entire webpage that will answer probably most of the questions that you have. It will also list out those community partners that you can contact for those service hours. So it breaks down to 4 service hours or $20 a quarter, since we have 4 quarters in a year. But as long as your student has completed their partnership hours or they pay in full for the iPad prior to August, they do receive a reduction of either 4 hours or $20. So again, if your student has earned 12 community partner hours, or they pay $60 prior to that registration in August or during registration in August, then the iPad would only cost $60, and where they would have to complete 12 hours of partnership. I would like to thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, contact us.